Hello everyone, Daisy here again with another random Scrappy challenge. This is a series that I do with Marie from Marie's Notes here on YouTube, and this week we are scrap lifting Paige Evans, and actually we are kind of taking it a step further, and I am using because Paige often will do like white on white with some color coming from behind, and or on the flip side, she'll do tons of color in patterns and everything. So I'm doing kind of the white on white with some pops of color, and Marie is going to do more of the color explosion. And so what I'm going to do here is I am taking this cut file, and it is a cluster of butterflies, and I cannot remember where I got this from. It's a free cut file from somewhere. It could possibly be Paper Issues, but I'm not 100% sure on that. So if you're really interested, I can attempt to figure it out, but I'm not guaranteeing anything. So I only have a silhouette portrait, so I had to cut this in a 8 by 12 sheet of paper. And so what I'm doing here is I am kind of pasting the inside portions back on the butterfly, and I'm going to use the like offcut of this and use it kind of as a stencil. I was thinking that it would work pretty well as a stencil, and I would be able to kind of layer the butterflies above it, but it turns out a little bit different, but it's still kind of the same effect. So I'm using my Shimmers paints here, and these are in Peacock Plume, Magenta, and Royal Purple, and I'm just using the packaging technique. I'm going to apologize now if you can hear a bunch of kids in the background. Our house today is the neighborhood hangout, so everybody's out in the living room playing, and they are extremely loud, so I'm sorry if you can hear them. So I'm just smushing this down and around, and I dripped a whole bunch on my paper, which is irritating, but I think I end up doing a good job of covering it up a little bit so it's not so obvious. And I'm just going to smush this around, again using the offcut as a stencil. And I really like how this looked, but then when you peel away that cut file, it will look less, I guess, if that makes sense. There won't be quite as much mixed media. And I am actually saving that extra piece to see if I can use it, because I really like how it looks. So you might see that again soon on one of my layouts. So I'm just kind of showing you how I want to layer the butterfly pieces over it. And I peeled everything off and then decided I think I want a little bit more, or I'm going to try to do some splatters or something. But it really doesn't change a whole lot. I might just fill in a few areas where those butterflies in the middle kind of didn't get a lot of color. So, and I didn't add enough water, so the splatters don't really work. But then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the positive portion of the cut file, and I am going to stitch all the way around the outside edge of all of the butterflies, and I'm going to use white embroidery floss, and I only use 3 strands. I did attempt to do a full 6 strand, but it's too chunky, and I ended up ripping a little bit, so I do just go around with a 3 strand all the way around, using the back stitch, or actually I don't use the back stitch because this is like a full piece. What I do is I just stitch all the way around, and then I do it again to fill in the opposite stitches, I guess, if that makes any sense. But here I'm just going to pierce around, and all I use is the I just use fun foam and the needle that I'm gonna end up sewing with, and just pierce the holes all the way around. And I'm not gonna make you watch that, or I'm not gonna make you watch stitching either, because there's other YouTube videos for that. So this is what it looks like, and I do pop it up on some fun foam and glue it down to the background. And so that is kind of what I'm going for, is those little peaks of color just behind each of the butterflies. I'm just gluing it down using some Tombow Mono Multi because it goes over the Shimmers paints really well. I did not prep this paper with any gesso or anything like that, so it's not prepared. It warps a tiny bit, but not a lot that it bothers me. So these two photos I'm using are again of my oldest daughter, and it's a Snapchat filter, of course, because it's either I get this funny face, which I call the hippo face, where she smushes her lips up and like flares her nostrils, or I get Snapchat filters. So this is another Snapchat filter, and I really thought that the colors matched the mixed media I did in the background, and they're just funny pictures. So I take two of them. One of them is her being serious, and then one of is her being funny. And I'm just putting some sparkly tissue paper behind each of them. Not that you can really see a lot of the sparkles, but it just gives a little bit of a layer behind them. And I also will put some fun foam on them because they will be popped up on those butterflies, which are popped up with fun foam. So and I pulled out my die cuts from Paige Evans' latest collection. Why can't I remember what it's called? Oh My Heart. And all I have of this collection, I think I might have a couple of 12 by 12 papers, but really it's just the ephemera pack. And so I had made a layout before where I used just a ton of the flowers and everything, which is super irritating because that's what I wanted to use. So I'm just using what I have left of the flowers. And I found a way to use that little like iPhone that says heart your smile, I think. And yeah, I had no idea how I would use that because it's just like too literal for me, I guess. I don't know. It's just not really my style, but it's totally her style, so it works out perfectly for this layout. And so I'm going to layer some flowers on each side. And originally I had that rose gold flower down in the bottom right cluster, but then there's that pink flower up on the top left. And so I felt like I needed a pink one to go down there. And this is the only pink I had, so this is what's going to end up being there. And my title ends up being that little die cut that says Feel Beautiful Today. And I love how that in that photo it kind of looks like she's looking up at the title there. And I also use that banner that says Wonderful You down at the bottom. Now I'm going to shove this whole bottom cluster over a little bit just because I wanted it to match kind of the positioning of the top cluster, so that there's like an inch or a half an inch border around the whole thing there. So I just shove everything over. And then I had used this washi tape, this glitter washi tape, and punched out a bunch of little hearts. And I had also punched out a bunch of silver hearts that I just had in a dish kind of on my desk. So I'm going to put those around. I was thinking about using these chipboard butterflies, but it was just too much of this pink glitter. And it's kind of an off pink, like almost like a purpley pink, and I just, it just wasn't working for me. So this is pretty much how the layout turns out. I do add some more of the hearts. I'm going to link Marie's channel down below, so you should definitely go check out what she's creating for this. And then you should subscribe to both of our channels so that you're able to see the videos as we create them. And of course, if you're willing to give us a thumbs up if you like this, we always appreciate those, and comments are also appreciated. So yeah, this is pretty much what the layout is. And I really love how it turned out. I think it's very Paige Evans-y, with the little die cuts tucked behind and the, pops of color here and there. And I really love how this turned out. So like I said, I'll link Marie's channel down below. You should go check out what she creates for this. And I will see you again next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.